It's good to be back here this weekend. It didn't feel particularly good to not be here this past weekend with the reconsecration of the Archdiocese to the Sacred Heart of Jesus that was happening in each parish. The reason that I wasn't here was because I had made a previous commitment before Archbishop Cecchio asked us to do that in every parish. That previous commitment was being the chaplain for a retreat called a retreat for adult children of divorce, which is called Life-Giving Wounds. And I sincerely desire to promote that here in the parish for anyone who might be able to benefit from that, if you know anyone who might be able to benefit from that. But from the time that I received the date and then the dates that the retreat would be until the time sign-ups were closed, I was just a bit overwhelmed with everything else I was trying to attend to during that time period. But if that sounds like a retreat that you could benefit from, or someone you know could benefit from, ask me around November, December if we have the dates for this coming year, and I'll be happy to share them with you. It's a short retreat, right? So it's very doable for those who work. It's a Friday evening, Saturday all day during the day, and ends Sunday afternoon with Mass. And both of the retreats I've been in chaplain for these past 2 years, it's a beautiful experience, powerful experience for all of those who attend, including myself. So that's why I wasn't here this past weekend. Then immediately from there, I went to another retreat. This time I got to be on retreat, so I wasn't the chaplain. I was on a retreat that had to do with St. John Paul II's theology of the body. And I was with my dad, and I was there thanks to my dad. My dad paid for the retreat, which was nice. It was a quite fitting way, in my mind, to spend the week leading up to Father's Day, right, on a retreat with my dad. And it related to one of the things I felt the Lord was asking me to focus on this weekend, which seems quite fitting in light of it being Father's Day. But to explain what I mean, I have to go back to my homily from last Sunday on that retreat. I felt moved to share with the people who were on the retreat something that I learned in April of this past year that really helped me understand how to live out this idea of spiritual fatherhood in a new way. So for years, I had been satisfied with the idea that to be a spiritual father simply meant that my love could be life-giving, just like a biological father's love could be life-giving. And so that was something that spoke to my heart, right? Knowing as a priest that I would be sacrificing the possibility of becoming a biological father. I was able to rest in that, the beauty of my love being able to be life-giving. I could see how this could take place spiritually and physically. Right? As a priest, my love, willing the good of another for their own sake, could help them encounter the love of the Lord, which affects your whole life, right? Spiritually and physically. And so someone could receive the love that I was trying to share, and they would then be open to receive the Lord and giver of life, right? His love. The same is true for biological fathers, but in a different way. For biological fathers, right, through the intimate love that a father shares with his wife, they can give literal new life to the world through the gift of their loving union. And then they continue to share that love with one another, pour out their love upon one another, and that love poured out for each other can then be poured out on their children, on that child that came from that loving union, and help those children to encounter the Lord, the giver of life, the author of all life. So just a sketch of the ideal, and I know that's not the case for everyone. It doesn't always work out quite that easily. But I want you to hold that all in your mind, and I'm going to revisit what I said, help me understand spiritual fatherhood in a new way that I think applies to everyone, biological fathers and those who are not fathers at all. And this was something that I needed, because there was something in my heart that, like I said, I was okay with the idea. I was able to rest in the idea that my love could be life-giving, but there was something more that I desired, and I didn't quite know what. And so I heard it voiced by another priest, and it was on a week of formation for that program that I'm in to be a better spiritual director. And in one of the talks, this priest, he said this. He said, Jesus reveals the love of the Father. He reveals the fatherhood of God through radical sonship. Jesus reveals the love of the Father through radical sonship. So you might hear that, and the question might come to mind, what does that mean? How does that work? When I first heard it, I think this is just a grace from the Lord. I don't know that I fully understood what this priest was getting at the moment, or that I fully understand it now, but what was the truth that was spoken to my heart in that moment, Jesus reveals the love of the Father through radical sonship, was this invitation to be more like Jesus. To let myself be loved by the Father as his beloved Son. So the same invitation is there for you, to be loved by the Father as his beloved child. And the invitation was for me to rely more completely on the Father's love. To be able to see his goodness, to trust in his providence, that he will take care of every need that I have every single day. And that he will do that for every person I love, who he loves more than me. And I just love the way that all of this is kind of spoken to in our gospel for today. And it's spoken of in a very beautiful way, through very serious terms and also very playful terms at the same time. Jesus says, fear no one. Don't fear the ones who can kill the body. Fear the one who can throw both soul and body into Gehenna. Serious stuff. And then he says, do not be afraid. You are worth more than many sparrows to him, to the one who could throw both soul and body into Gehenna. You are worth more than many sparrows to him. And that should start to soften our hearts to receive the truth that Jesus is trying to reveal there. Lest we misunderstand what he's saying, or we close our hearts, he goes even further. And he says, even the hairs of your head are counted. Even the hairs of your head are counted. The easy joke is that's easier for God to do with some than others. Right? In other words, what Jesus is saying about the Father is he knows everything about you. And he still loves you. He knows everything about you, and he still loves you. I think that, in a particular way, was what the reconsecration to the Sacred Heart was meant to do in our hearts. The invitation to enthrone the Sacred Heart in our homes. It was meant to help us see the Father's love burning on fire through the heart of the Son for you and for me. That is the Father's love that sets the Son's heart on fire. It's the love that the Son has been receiving from all of eternity that motivated him, right? That moved him to come to earth to reveal the Father's love. In order for you and I to acknowledge Jesus in front of others, to acknowledge his heart on fire with love for you, we first need to receive it. We first need to receive it. And the gloriously good news is this is precisely one of the things that every single Mass offers to us. What I try to help us enter into at the beginning of every Mass. The Lord is inviting us to an encounter with him in order for us to receive his love, so that we can give our love back to him, so that we can go out from here and unashamedly bear witness to the fire of his love that has set us on fire. To get there, again, it's about receiving his love, letting the fire of his love burn away whatever it is that was weighing you down as you stepped into church this morning. Letting the fire of his love burn away anything that makes you doubt this truth, that Jesus shows us the love of the Father. And he wants to acknowledge us before his Heavenly Father, the way that our gospel ended. He desires to acknowledge us before his heavenly Father. In other words, he wants to bring us into the Father's presence so that we can receive the love of the Father that he has been receiving forever. Because he knows how incredible it is, and he knows that it is what you and what I was made for. The invitation is this to everyone, and especially fathers, on this Father's Day. If you want to receive one of the greatest gifts that you could hope to receive on this Father's Day, if you want to give the Father one of the greatest gifts you could hope to give him on this Father's Day, ask for the grace. Ask for the grace to allow Jesus to acknowledge you before the Father, to bring you into his presence. In other words, ask for the grace to open your heart so that you might receive the Father's love for you.